What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Well, it looks like we're going to talk about Kayla Nicole again. Kayla Nicole has a podcast. Did y'all know that? And on her podcast, I guess she decided to talk about the BS. She had to rehash it because of backlash of the fact that the guy that she dated for almost 5 years or so ended up leaving her to go be with Taylor Swift and hasn't looked back since. As a matter of fact, he's now gotten engaged to her. That went super viral. So much so that once again, Kayla Nicole has to respond to it. Let me tell y'all this, right? You know, Kayla Nicole is somebody who embraced the swirl life, the divestment life, so much so that when she was with Travis Kelce years ago, she was promoting a interracial emojis. That's how deep in that lifestyle she was. And have y'all noticed that since the breakup, she hasn't gotten with anybody? Because this heifer's still in love with this guy. He was her white knight. He was the white man that she's always wanted to be with. And the reason why I say this is because he's moved on, but she has not. You notice the changes in Travis. Doesn't dress the same way. Don't even talk the same way he did years ago when he was early in his career. You know why? Because he did all that to fit in with his teammates. But he sees Taylor Swift as a pathway to being, really famous, because Travis it seems like an ambitious guy. He has a podcast with his brother, and he's using Taylor to build a higher profile for himself. She is a key to the mainstream. Kayla Nicole was somebody who wasn't any of that. She was just somebody for that particular moment in time. And I think she's come to that conclusion herself. She's going from podcast to podcast talking about this dude to the point to where she has her own podcast. And she's going to talk about him again because we pretty much know her from being with him. And the fact that she basically did make a fool of herself in this relationship. You know what's funny? Because when I spoke about their breakup a couple of years ago, and there was a rumor out there that he had messed her, where he started dating a white woman, Travis Kelce actually responded to responded to my video on Twitter, because I tweet out a lot of my videos when they go live, and he responded to it saying that it wasn't true. Only for him to break up with Kayla Nicole and end up with Taylor Swift. This man is looking to follow in his brother's footsteps, because him and his brother are polar opposites. People would classify Travis Kelce as a bit of a wigger. That's early in his career, right? Dating black girls, maybe have a little bit of the black scent, right? His brother is the opposite of him. But you see, as time is going on, the older he gets, the more and more similar him and his brother are. You notice it. And I think Kayla sees that as well, which is why she's still melting down after, being separated for the last couple of years. Let's get into this. Kayla Nicole is defending her right to rehash BS after facing continuous backlash for publicly discussing her romantic past with ex Travis Kelce. You know what's funny? If a man would do this, they would say he's a stalker. He needs to leave her alone. She's moved on. You're hurt, right? But she's allowed to do this because she can, right? The sports journalist hit back at critics once again during a recent episode of the pregame podcast. For me, I don't fear necessarily being canceled because I don't think people hold that power. Nicole explained to special guest Heather Sanders in the episode that dropped last Friday. Why would they want to cancel you? For what? You're not giving a controversial opinion. You know, people are roasting you online. I mean, that's what people do. This is the internet. You're a public figure. You've made a career off of talking about your ex. Nicole said that she believes God has a plan for her and that haters can't change the trajectory of her life despite what they think of her. Well, Kayla, you have not moved on from him, and we can all see it. You are on a reality show crying tears over this man. So we know you haven't gotten over him. We know this. However, I'm sensitive. I am triggered, she admitted. I want to clear my name. I want to address it. Without referencing any particular controversy she was involved in, Nicole said that she never did address it and chickened out in the hopes that it would just blow over. Nobody's talking about her. Nobody. So she's talking about the 5 trolls that are in her comment section. She just ignores all the good comments she gets, but when she sees 5 trolls, now she's upset. That's what people do. This is the internet. Nobody would have been talking about you, Kayla, if you weren't going on all these podcasts talking about him. I don't think Taylor Swift's fans would care what you had going on. Nicole then went on to say that when she does address things, people think that she is doing it for attention instead of just discussing her experiences. That's my fear too, is when I address things, instead of me talking about lived experiences, people think it's just me constantly trying to rehash BS. She said, when in reality, I'm just a human who wants to talk about my life. Kayla, we don't believe you, okay? You had plenty of opportunities to not talk about Travis, and you took neither of those. We know when a woman is hurt. We know when a woman is bitter, and you are hurt and bitter. When's the last time you got into a relationship, Kayla? Why haven't you moved on yet? He's moved on. He has no interest in being with you whatsoever. She added, sue me, sweetie, Jesus. Nicole also defended herself in the past for speaking openly about her former relationship with Kansas City Chiefs tight end, whom she dated from 2017 to May of 2022. Nicole has touched on her past with the football player, who's 35, in several interviews after he started dating Taylor Swift in the summer of 2023. Last year, she even shut down rumors that they broke up over Kelce's cheap tendencies, admitting the Unapologetically Angel podcast that she would never date someone who splits the bill 50-50. Well, you did, Kayla. You said it yourself that he didn't pay anything for you. He didn't give you no money. You pay your own bills. You were crashing out. This was right before they broke up. She was crashing out about how she can't shop at certain places because she doesn't have the funds to do it because he's not giving her money. I guess she forgot that. Shortly after, Nicole broke down in tears after she was dragged by Swifties for spilling the tea on her relationship with Kelce. Again, they didn't attack her for no reason. They didn't. And you know what's interesting about this is that, she attacked Cam Newton out of nowhere. This was during the time she was dating Travis. That's why he had to separate from her. She attacked because, Cam Newton was having issues with his ex. And out of nowhere, I made a video on it. Out of nowhere, she attacked Cam Newton. Cam Newton didn't say anything about her, but she decided to attack Cam Newton. So the same is being done to her by, I guess, Taylor Swift fans because she can't stop talking about Travis Kelce. Because she wanted this white man to love her. Matter of fact, I have a video on my Patreon, family. I have a video on my Patreon where I discuss this reality TV, the melanated female from Love Island. Y'all know she started dating a white guy. On my Patreon, I made a video. I went in on her and these divestors, because this heifer said that she felt a higher self-esteem for being with a white man. Him dating her in public healed her. This is the mindset of these melanated women in Western society. So we see why you're crying tears constantly over this man. Because if he was black, you would have moved on, Kelce. Kayla. I don't know why I'm calling it Kelce. I don't know. You're crying tears over him because he's white and he moved on. If he was black, you would have already moved on. See, this is what happens when your self-esteem is wrapped up in a man's race. And he probably knew this. This is why he separated himself from you, because he knew, damn, you worship my whiteness. You probably don't even like me like that. You like my whiteness. This is her life now. Kayla's not an ugly female. Why hasn't the heifer moved on yet? Because he brought her self-esteem, and we all know that these heifers have little to none of it, because you can't fake self-esteem. No matter what surgeries you get, no matter how many selfies, how many pictures you show of your body, that self-esteem will always be low. After the podcast came out, I thought that I handled things with grace. The model said on the I Am Athlete Daily series. At the time, I thought that I answered the questions to the best of my ability. The public had their interpretation of things. Didn't matter to me. She even shared that her mom was offended and hurt by how the public was perceiving her daughter. My mom calls me though, and those conversations, that's what matters to me, Nicole said. Let me stop it right here. I don't want this video to get too long. Let me tell you something. This is the problem with modern black women like her. She was so consumed with this relationship. She did not understand that she did so much sacrificing in order to be with him. She probably wrapped her life around his schedule. She said it herself that he gave her no money. He didn't pay her bills. He didn't take her shopping. She said these things. If it wasn't 50-50, it was something similar to that, because he damn sure wasn't spoiling her. She did all this because he's white. And this is why she's still to this day crying tears over this man who's moved on. She's going on podcasts still talking about this man. She's been doing this for years after they broke up, for the last 2 years. You could have easily said, I don't want to talk about that. Why don't you talk about other things you have going on? Oh, that is right. You don't have nothing going on. They even got this heifer on a reality show. You know what I'm saying? Travis is a guy who is in his 30s. He's close to retirement. Him and his brother are more and more alike. He's left that yo BS in the past, and he wants to be super famous. I believe he wants to be in Hollywood. Taylor Swift is a pathway to that. He's an ambitious guy. And I think that Kayla Nicole just doesn't understand that. She's still crying tears because she really thought that this man wanted her and wanted to marry her, and that's just not the case. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts, like the video, and share. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, and I'll see y'all next.